Here is a question that trips up almost every new AI user. You ask about something that happened last week, and the model answers with total confidence about a world that no longer exists. Today, we fix that permanently. I will show you where the search toggle lives, the phrasing that reliably triggers a search, the phrasing that stops one, and 6 research workflows I run every week. Stay to the end for the mistakes. First, why this matters. Every language model is trained up to a certain date and then frozen. Anything after that date simply does not exist inside the model. Prices, staff changes, software versions, sports results, all invisible. Worse, a model without search does not know what it does not know. It will happily invent a plausible-sounding answer. Search closes that gap by letting Claude go and look instead of guessing. So what is web search? Technically, it is not a browser plugin, and it is not a sidebar. It is a tool Anthropic runs on the server. Claude writes a query, the server fetches results, and those results land in the conversation. That distinction matters for one practical reason. Claude is not clicking around a live page in front of you. It is reading fetched text, so it can read public articles, but it cannot log into your bank or click a button on a website. Now let us turn it on. Open claude.ai in your browser and start a fresh chat. Look at the bottom left of the message box where you type. There is a small slider or plus style icon sitting right there. Click that icon and a short menu appears listing the tools available to this chat. Web search is one of the entries. Flip the switch on. That is it. The setting sticks for future chats, so you do this once. If you do not see it there, open your profile menu and look under Settings for a Features section. The same toggle lives there. On mobile, the tools icon sits just above the keyboard. Once it is on, ask something time-sensitive and watch the interface. You will see a line that says Searching the Web, followed by the actual query Claude wrote. That query is worth reading. It tells you how Claude interpreted you. Citations come free. You cannot turn them off, and you should not want to. Claude drops small numbered markers inline, and the full source links appear underneath the answer. Every claim is traceable back to a page. Here is the habit that separates casual users from serious ones. Open at least one citation before you trust a number. Takes 8 seconds. Catches the one answer in 20, where a stale page fooled the search. By default, Claude decides on its own whether a question needs the web. Ask it to explain photosynthesis, and it will not search. Ask about this morning's market open, and it will. That autonomy is usually right, but not always. When it guesses wrong, override it. To force a search, say the word search explicitly and demand sources. This phrasing has never failed me. Notice I am asking for the publication date too, which is the part most people skip. The opposite is just as useful. Sometimes searching slows you down, or drags in a low-quality blog when you only wanted the model's own reasoning. Tell it plainly not to search and to answer from what it already knows. Claude can also search more than once inside a single answer. It runs a query, reads what came back, notices a gap, and runs another. You will see 2 or 3 search lines stack up on complicated questions. In 2026, the search tool picked up a genuinely useful upgrade called dynamic filtering. Claude can now write small code snippets that strip navigation menus, adverts, and boilerplate out of a fetched page before it reads the content. The practical effect is that Claude wastes less attention on junk and gets more of the actual article. Long documentation pages and dense news sites benefit most. You do not configure this, it just happens. Workflow 1: Price and spec checking. Never ask, what does this cost? Ask for the current price, the source, and the date the page was updated. Here is the exact wording I use before any purchase. Workflow 2: Local and regional facts. These age fast and vary by place, which makes them the worst possible thing to answer from memory. Opening hours, permit rules, transit fares, all of it needs a live look. Workflow 3: News synthesis. The trick is not asking what happened. It is asking Claude to separate what multiple outlets agree on from what only one outlet is claiming. That distinction is where the real signal lives. Workflow 4: Head-to-head comparisons. Ask for a table and specify the columns yourself. If you let Claude choose the columns, it will pick generic ones. If you choose them, you get a comparison that matches your actual decision. Workflow 5: Checking your own writing. Paste a draft and ask Claude to verify every factual claim in it against live sources. This catches numbers you half remembered and statistics that were true 3 years ago. Workflow 6: Finding primary sources. Most search results are somebody's summary of a summary. Cut through by naming what you want. Say original study, official filing, or manufacturer documentation, and Claude will aim for the real thing. Now, phrasing that improves your results. Vague time words like recently or latest are weak. Claude does not know what recently means to you. Name an actual window, and it writes a much sharper query. You can steer sources too. Say prefer official documentation, government sites, and peer-reviewed sources. Or go the other way and say, I want practitioner forums and real user reports, not marketing pages. Both work well. One phrase worth memorizing. Ask Claude to tell you when the evidence is thin. Models are trained to be helpful, which can mean filling silence with something. Explicit permission to say, I do not know, is powerful. Search gets far more powerful when you combine it with other features. Pair it with artifacts, and Claude can research a topic, then build you a live comparison page or calculator using what it just found. Pair it with projects and research compounds. Put your company context and past findings in a project, and every new search happens with that background loaded. Answers arrive pre-filtered for your situation. Pair it with uploads for the strongest combination of all. Upload your own document, then ask Claude to check it against the live web. Internal report meets external reality, and the gaps show up immediately. Here is a research brief template you can steal. It sets the question, the time window, the source preference, and the output shape all at once. Pause the video and screenshot this one. It is the highest value slide here. Now the mistakes. Mistake 1, trusting a search result because it appeared in a search result. Search engines happily surface pages from 2019. If the citation has no visible date, treat the claim as unverified. Mistake 2, letting affiliate content set your facts. A lot of the top-ranking pages for any product question are written to earn commission, not to be accurate. Explicitly excluding them changes the quality of the answer noticeably. Mistake 3, asking one enormous question. If you ask Claude to research an entire market in a single prompt, you get shallow coverage of everything. Break it into 3 narrow questions, and the depth improves dramatically. Mistake 4, leaving search on for creative work. If you are drafting a story, brainstorming names, or writing an opinion piece, search adds nothing and can pull the tone toward whatever it found. Turn it off for that. A quick note for developers. The same capability exists in the API as a web search tool you enable per request. Build per 1,000 searches rather than by token. Your code gets the same citations the chat interface shows. On privacy, be sensible. Your search queries leave the conversation and go to a search provider. Do not paste client names, private financial details, or anything confidential into a message Claude will search on. Let us pull it together. Toggle search on from the tools icon by the message box. Force a search by saying search and asking for dated sources. Block one by saying do not search when you want pure reasoning. And remember the habits. Name your time window instead of saying recently. Steer toward primary sources. Give Claude permission to admit the evidence is thin. And open one citation before you trust any number that matters. If this was useful, subscribe. We publish one focused Claude tutorial every single day, and tomorrow we are covering how to write a book or a blog with Claude, including the outline method that stops you stalling at Chapter 3. See you then.